This is the sector user guide to the application portal for the Community Empowerment Division in the Department for Communities Northern Ireland. To access the system, you can use the URL provided, www.vcs-grants.communities-ni.gov.uk. In this guidance manual, we will look at creating a new application, an activity for the main contact of your organization, how to submit an application. This is an activity for the chairperson or director of a statutory body. The chairperson or director can also choose to send an application back to the main contact for additional editing. To start, once you have logged into the application portal, you can see the funding programs that are available. Log in as the main contact to create a new application and click on the funding programs icon in the top left-hand corner of the screen. On the funding page, click on Find out what programs are available for either Community Empowerment Division or the Voluntary Community Division, which displays the available programs for the division selected. To select the program you wish to apply to, select the Click here to Start Application button for the program. The Edit Application screen will then be displayed. This will take you to the application processing screen, and you can see activities on the right-hand side of that screen, broken down into sections. Activities to do, ones that are done, and ones that are not applicable, which is not relevant for this training. To fill out the application form, click the blue arrow button next to the label Application Form CED, and the form will be displayed. The form will be split into several sections. We'll work through these in turn. It's important to follow through this guidance because there are specific functions and ways of using the portal that you will need to note as you proceed through the application process. Section 1, Part 1, Applicant Information, will be auto-populated. We can see question 1.2, please give the title of the project for which you are seeking support. This is a mandatory field as indicated by the red asterisks. In which area will this project be delivered? This is a mandatory field for CED applications only. Please select the local government district. When selecting the local government district or the council area and the DEA from the drop-downs, you will note that the LGDs are listed in alphabetical order with the corresponding DEAs. Please select the correct DEA for where your organization is located. More mandatory fields to complete. Please select the constituency where your project will be delivered. There is guidance in the blue box, and we can see a drop-down menu to select from. Then the project dates. This again is a mandatory field, as these are auto-populated and can be amended. Use the date picker if you need to make a change to the date. To save the form and remain on the same section, click Save Draft. To move to the next section, click Save Draft and continue. To exit the form and return to it later, click Save Draft and exit. Section 2, About the proposal. This starts with a number of mandatory fields again, with free text fields to complete. You can upload additional evidence. Only one file upload question is displayed by default. If more than one file needs to be uploaded, tick Add Another. The checkbox Add Another File Upload question will be displayed. Then we see another mandatory field to describe the activities that will be delivered through this project. We move to Section 3, Part 1. This describes the overarching outcome framework. The links in the blue guidance box here are hyperlinks that can be followed to get more information about the DFC business plan for 25 to 26, and the PFG Wellbeing Framework. The overarching outcome framework, reading here, this is an image which provides extra information on the overarching outcome framework. The links in this image can be accessed from the blue box above. Then section 3, part 2. Tick all the delivery outcomes in the area plan which this project is expected to support directly. Step 1. Select the delivery outcome, e.g. community. Step 2. Select the associated indicators, e.g. individuals have self-confidence. Section 3, part 3. A number of mandatory fields to complete with free text boxes. Section 4. Financial and accountability information. Question 4.1. Is this a collaborative project? This is a mandatory field. If answered yes, collaborative group and/or consortium question will be displayed. How many partners are there in your collaborative group and/or consortium question will be displayed. And section 5, collaborative and consortium partners, the next section of the form will be enabled and you will have to fill that out. Question 4.2. Have you sought any other funding for this project? If answered yes, see 4.3. Question 4.3. Proposed sources of funding will become enabled for completion. See the next slide. Again, section 4, part 2, financial and accountability information. The proposed sources of funding. Please complete the table giving the details of the proposed sources of funding for the project. Private sector, other public sector, voluntary groups, own income generated, national lottery, or other. Please indicate all funding that has been sought and whether it was granted or rejected, or if awaiting a decision. Please upload the documentary evidence of any funding applications or funding decision relating to this project. Click on the Save Details button to save the entry. Each new blank row will be automatically added. Use the blank row to insert another entry if required, otherwise leave blank. At least one row of entries must be completed. You must save the entry below by clicking on the Save Details button before moving to the next question. You will see, if you have correctly saved an entry, a red box with a delete button next to it. This only appears once that entry has been saved successfully. Section 4, part 3. If more than one file needs to be uploaded, click the Add Another checkbox and another file upload question will be displayed. In 4.5, it's a mandatory field. Tick the box for all applicable costs. 4.6, mandatory free text field, and then the option to upload an exit strategy. Edit the application. Section 5, collaborative consortium partners. As we indicated in section 4, if you've identified that you are working with partners, now you can complete this section. 5.1, partner details. This is mandatory field of question 4.1a. Is this a collaborative project? Has been answered yes. Please enter the partner's name and full address. Both of these are free text fields. Click on the button Add Partner to add further partner details. These can be accessed by clicking on the tab 5.2 Partner 2. Click Delete Partner to remove a partner if an extra one was added by mistake. Section 6. Salary costs. Question 6.1. Please give full details of the total salary costs for this project, including items funded by other bodies. Please advise what job roles and the percentage of their time will be involved in the delivery of this project. Collaborative groups or consortiums should list individual salary details for each organisation partner in this application. If you scroll to the right of the screen, you will see a Save Details button. Looking at the right-hand side of the screen for salary costs, you can see the Save Details button. Click on this button to save the line entry. A new blank row will be automatically added. Use the blank row to enter another entry if required, otherwise leave blank. At least one row of entries must be completed. You must save the entry by clicking on the Save Details button before moving on to the next question. You will see, if you have saved it correctly, that a red Delete button will appear next to the line entry. Please note, if you answer no to the question, is this item part of your application to DFC, you must enter 0 under the amount requested for this project for 2026-27, as this is a mandatory field. Section 6, Salary Costs, Part 2. Here we have 6.2, a mandatory field if you take salary costs at 4.5. Job title, job description. Click on the Save Details button to save the entry. A new blank row will be automatically added. Use the blank row to insert another entry if required, otherwise leave it blank. At least one row of entries must be completed. Again, you must use the Save the Entry below by clicking on the Save Details button before moving on to the next question. Then complete section 6, question 6.3, if applicable. Question 6.4, running costs. Please give full details of the total running costs for this project, including items funded by other bodies. Please list the individual items being applied for example, heat, light, telephone costs, etc., in the description box below. Click on the Save Details button to save the line entry. A new blank row will be automatically added. Use the blank row to insert another entry if required, otherwise leave blank. At least one row of entries must be completed. You must save the entry below by clicking on the Save Details button before moving on to the next question. If you have saved it correctly, you will see the Delete button appear. Please note, if you answer no to is this item part of your application to DFC, you must enter 0 amount under the amount requested for this project for 2026-27, as this is a mandatory field. This is followed by question 6.5, which is not a mandatory question. If you previously received funding in the 25-26 year for specific running costs which you are no longer applying for, please articulate how these costs will be met in the 26-27 year. Question 6.6, Program Costs. Please give full details of the total program costs for this project, including items funded by other bodies. Again, click on the Save Details button to save the entry. A new blank row will be automatically added. Use the blank row to insert another entry if required, otherwise leave blank. At least one row of entries must be completed. You must save the entry below by clicking on the Save Details button before moving on to the next question. Please note, if you answer no to is this item part of your application to DFC, you must enter a 0 amount under the amount requested for this project for 2026-27, as this is a mandatory field. Program Costs Part 2. Complete if applicable, a free text box. And then the amount requested from this funding program. This is auto-calculated and cannot be edited. This is the total all costs entered in the tables above, and the question is this item part of your application to the DFC? Was answered yes. So just to repeat, this is an auto-calculated field. It's the total of all costs entered in the tables above, and the question Is this item part of your application to the DFC, where it was answered yes? Then to section 7, project management and accountability. A free text field to provide a breakdown of how project finances will be managed, including accountability and financial controls. Section 8, project target groups. A series of questions, mandatory questions, with either a drop-down select or a multi-select response. Section 8, Part 1 includes 8.1 sex, 8.2 marital status, 8.3 age group, 8.4 ethnicity. Section 8, Project Target Groups Part 2 continues with 8.5 religious belief, 8.6 disability, 8.7 dependence, 8.8 sexual orientation. And finally, Section 8, Project Target Groups Part 3, the final two questions, 8.9 political opinion, 8.10 other specific target groups. Then Section 9, an optional question here, 9.1, complete if applicable. Please provide any further details you feel might add to your application. And here again, you may upload additional supporting evidence. Only one file upload question is displayed by default on the form. If more than one file needs to be uploaded, tick the Add Another checkbox and another file upload question will be displayed. Section 9 is the last section of the form. On completion of the form, click Save Draft and Continue, or Save Draft and Exit, and the Submit Form page will be displayed. On the Submit Form page, you have the option to generate a PDF document before selecting the appropriate option. Then you simply submit your form. This will return you to the application processing screen. You can see the application form has moved from the to-do section of the activities to the done section. Now it's important that you follow on with the next steps to click send application to chairperson to send it to the chairperson for approval. So this, just to be clear, this is another activity to complete to move the application forward. After the main contact sends the application to the chairperson will be notified by email. Chairperson must log in and they will see under upcoming tasks the activity to click on the Submit Application button, which is under the task column. This will take them to the application processing screen. On the right-hand side of the screen, they will see the activities broken down into 3 sections. In the To-Do section, there are 2 activities to complete. The first is to review the application form by clicking the blue arrow button next to the application form label, and the form will be displayed. The second task will be to fill out a chairperson declaration for the application. The application will open at section 1. The chairperson reviews the application form, and if necessary, chairperson can make any amendments or send it back to the main contact to make amendments. The chairperson must review each section. For more information on each section, see the slides 8 to 28 earlier in the presentation. To move to the next section, click on the section tabs at the top or click Save Draft and Continue to move through the form. On completion of the form review, click Save Draft and Continue or Save Draft and Exit, and the Submit Form message will be displayed. On the Submit Form page, please select the appropriate option to submit the form. Once the chairperson has reviewed and submitted the application form, the system will bring the user back to the application processing screen. And we can see now the application form has moved to the Done section. So that has been reviewed. There is another activity to complete. The chairperson declaration for application. Click the blue arrow button next to the task to open that form. Here we can see the application information is auto-populated. Question 1.2, do you require the main contact to edit the application form before submission? If yes is selected, then a list changes required question will be displayed. Note the data entered will be sent by email to the main contact. Make sure you select the option Send application back to main contact under the next steps when we return to the application processing screen to send it back to the main contact for editing. Once you have submitted your form to the Department for Communities under the Next Steps task, you will not be able to make any further changes to it. If you have selected No, you do not require the main contact to edit the application before submission, then you can move to the declaration, where we can see section 1.4, signature of the group, organization chairperson. The question is enabled now for the chairperson to sign. Again, note once you have submitted your form to the Department for Communities under the Next Steps task on the application processing screen, you will not be able to make any further changes to it. So having completed the declaration, we progress to the Save Draft and Continue or Save Draft and Exit screen, and then the Submit Form page. That will move my declaration form into the Done section as well. Both tasks are completed and moved into the Done section. Now we look at next steps. Now, as we noted in completing both the review of the form and the chairperson's declaration, you have two options here to submit the application to the department if the application is complete. And as we've stressed before, if you do submit the application to the department at this point, there can be no more changes made to that application. If you choose to send the application back to the main contact to return for amendments, note that after the amendments are made by the main contact, the chairperson will need to complete the Submit Application to Department step again, starting at slide 31. But also the main contact will be notified by email, and they will have an Edit Application task in their upcoming task list within the portal. So we just go through the cycle again. And here you can see if you have requested that the main contact edit the task, and this is the task that they will see. Edit application. They will follow that process through, make the changes you've requested, and resubmit for your review as chairperson before you can submit the application to DFC.